Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today for another countdown to Christmas video we are going to be looking at 5 series that I want to prioritise in 2024. Now these are all series that I own every single book of. So that is where we're going to start with that. I've got some YA on here, I've got an indie on here, and then I've got some books that we plan to read in the It's All About Fantasy read along. So if you want to check that out, the Twitter is always linked down below. Make sure you check it out. We will be back again in January, starting with The Heresy Within by Rob J. Hayes. That is not on this list because not all of these series are actually included in the It's All About Fantasy read along, because otherwise it would just be them and I wouldn't be branching out anywhere else. So the very first one is Throne of Glass, because I have had this on my shelf for the longest time. I have attempted to read this once before. I have read the first 3 books plus Assassin's Blade, which is a series of short stories, which is still on my currently reading list, because the last time I tried to read this series I did it a different way, which is to read Throne of Glass, then the next 2 books, and then the Assassin's Blade, which kind of is meant to slot in between there and give you some backstory. But my plan is that now that I am halfway through, well, over halfway through the Assassin's Blade again, what I will do is I will finish that book, finish those short stories, and then I will start the Throne of Glass series again, and I will finish it this time. Will I finish the whole thing in 2024? I don't know, but I am aiming to at least get further than I did the first time round. There's 8 books in this series in total, and I think I could read, as long as I read like 1 a month, then I would be fine to read it within 2024. The aim is there, we can only hope. So in Throne of Glass we are following Selena Sardothian, and at the start of Throne of Glass she is in the salt mines, or the mines, I can't remember which one it is, so don't hold me to that, but basically a slave mine, and she gets pulled out of it to compete out of the mines to compete in a competition on behalf of the Crown Prince. This is very much YA at the start, in my opinion. I don't know if it carries on being YA, I haven't got past the 3rd book, so I'm not sure. But I enjoyed the first 3 books that I read. I thought they were really good, I really enjoyed the world, and sometimes I do still enjoy a bit of YA, and this is the series of which that I still enjoy the YA. So I want to finish this series and get it crossed off my TBR, because I'm aiming to get my TBR down next year. Don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm aiming to do so. The next one is also, I think this is also kind of marked as YA, and that is The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. There are 3 books in this series. It is completed, and I believe Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy is doing a read-along for this, so I'm hoping to take part in that. I think it starts in January, I could be wrong, but my aim is to start this book in January and then carry on the trilogy through the first 3 months. I will link Cassidy's announcement video down below for you so you can also see. I might be wrong, it could be December that this starts, but the live show's in January. Either way, I hope to read it before the first live show. I have started this one before previously, and I got about halfway and then DNF'd it because I wasn't picking it up anymore. This is an Illumicrate edition. The other 2 editions I've got are standard editions, I think, but this one we are following, I can't remember, Yaz, that was her name. So our main character is called Yaz, and in this world every year children are brought to this specific place and judged, essentially, and if there's anything wrong with them they are thrown back to the ice into this massive chasm, and when Yaz's brother gets thrown in she jumps in after him, basically, to try and find him and protect him, and this uncovers a whole different world that is living below the ice, and I'm sure Yaz is going to get into trouble, and I'm very excited to get to this. I do also know that this takes place in the same world as Red Sister, which is also why I bought this book, but this is not on the series list for me because I'm pretty sure you can read this without this. So that is the aim. I'd love to get to that first, but we're going to prioritise this series first because that's what I do. Next up is a series that I actually got the special editions of off of a friend, and that is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James, I want to say it's Islington, but I don't think that's right. This is a trilogy, again completed. These are the Broken Binding editions. They did them for their subscription a while ago, and I saw that one of my friends was selling it online and I bought his copies off of him. This is a very chunky series. I don't even know how many pages. Well, this is only like just under 700 pages, but because it's a hardback it looks bigger. But I don't really know a lot about this series because I haven't actually tried to read this one. So this one says it has been 20 years since the godlike augurs were overthrown and killed. Now those who served them, the gifted, are spared only because they have accepted the rebellion's 4 tenets, vastly limiting their own powers. As a gifted, Davian suffers the consequences of a war lost before he was even born. He and others like him are despised, but when Davian discovers he wields the forbidden power of the augurs, he sets into motion a chain of events that will change everything. To the west, a young man whose fate is intertwined with Davian's wakes up in the forest, covered in blood and with no memory of who he is. And in the far north, an ancient enemy, long thought defeated, begins to stir. Like I said, this is a complete trilogy, and I own all of the books just above my head up here, so I'm looking forward to giving that a go, and I think Lisa might buddy read that with me when I get started. And then these next 2 are series that I have proposed to be part of our read along. It's all about fantasy. The first one is Chasing Graves by Ben Galley, so this is the first in the Chasing Graves trilogy. Again, it's completed. You can just about see that I have the other 2 just here. I won my set. I'm very excited. These are very, very pretty. I will show them off. They are indie published as well, and I'm very excited to get into this trilogy and give it a try. This says, meet Caltro Basalt. He is a master locksmith, a selfish bastard, and of his first night in Arexis, stone cold dead. They call it the City of Countless Souls, the colossal jewel of the Arctian Empire, and all it takes to be its ruler is to own more ghosts than any other. For in Araxis, the dead do not rest in peace in the afterlife, but live on as slaves for the rich. While Caltro struggles to survive, those around him strive for the Emperor's throne in Araxis' cutthroat game of power. The dead gods whisper from corpses, a soul stealer seeks to make a name for himself with the help of an ancient cult, a princess plots to purge the Emperor of his armoured sanctuary, and a murderer drags a body across the desert, intent on reaching Araxis no matter the cost. Only one thing is certain in Araxis, death is just the beginning. So it sounds very, very cool. I'm very excited to dive into this series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then my final choice is none other than the very pretty broken binding editions of The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is a 4-book series that I'm very excited to get to. I've seen a lot of good things about this series, and I also just love these edges. Like, they are so pretty. The under dust jacket is standard, but yeah, it's just a very, very pretty set. So this is the Dandelion Dynasty, an epic fantasy quartet from Ken Liu. And it says Emperor Mapirdir, I can't say that, was the first to unite the island kingdoms of Dara under a single banner, but now the Emperor is on his deathbed, his people are exhausted by his vast conscriptive engineering projects, and his councillors conspire only for their own gain. Even the gods themselves are restless. A wily, charismatic bandit and the vengeance-sworn son of a deposed duke cross paths as they each lead their own rebellion against the Emperor's brutal regime. Together they will journey to the heart of the Empire, witnessing the clash of armies, fleets of silk-draped airships, magical books and shape-shifting gods. Their unlikely friendship will drastically change the balance of power in Dara, but at what price? So there are 5 series that I wish to concentrate on in 2024, both for readathons that I'm taking part in and series that I'm just interested to add to my TBR. I'm very excited to get to any of them. And all of them. Hopefully we'll get to all of them. I'm not sure if we will finish all of them, but we shall see. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below if you've read any of these series or if any of them are on your TBR for 2024. If you want to leave me any emojis, leave me any sparkle emojis, just because. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ring that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I'm uploading every single day until Christmas Eve, so be sure to come back tomorrow for another fun video. But otherwise, that is everything for today. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.